Dear Evelyn, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I would very much like to be today, 24th of June, in the University of Oslo to fully support this wonderful initiative of the World Dignity University. Dignity is the key word. Dignity is the key word in the Constitution of UNESCO in 1945. After this terrible war with Holocaust, with genocide, with abominable ways of massive destruction. At this moment, in the Charter of the United Nations, it is said, we the peoples, we have resolved to save the succeeding generations from the horror of the war. And to save the succeeding generations from the war, what we must do is to build peace, to be all of us peace builders in our everyday life. And to do this, the UNESCO's constitution says that we have a key word that we must introduce in our mind in order to act permanently according to dignity, to the equal dignity. The equal dignity of all human beings. This is the principle of all the Declaration of Human Rights. We are all equal in dignity. Whatever is our gender, is our ideology, is our belief, is our skin color, whatever we are, all the human beings are unique and they have the same human dignity. It's for this that it is very important that education permanently reflects. It is for this that at the highest level, at the university level, must reflect this equal dignity of all human beings. And we must learn to know in order to better do, but we must learn to be. And we must learn to live all together. And we must learn to share, to better share. This is the way by which we can recognize in practical terms this equal dignity. And I think that in this initiative at the university level, we must provide worldwide, without frontiers, without borders, a global action in order to be able to have a very important contribution to the radical changes that today are really impossible to postpone anymore. We must act. We must not remain silent anymore. We must not be spectators, passive spectators anymore. Now we must say, and the freedom of expression is another very important value of this freedom, of this capacity to act according to our own reflection and not to be submitted to any other kind of pressure, of influence. We now have a very important common task, because the asymmetries, the gap between the different people in the world, there are more than 1 billion people living below the poverty line. All these things are unbelievable and unacceptable. Because I repeat that every day we invest more than $4 billion in military expenditures and in armament. At the same time, more than 60,000 human beings are every day dying of hunger. And all this is unacceptable from the ethical point of view. We must therefore now all together because of human dignity, we must now participate, contribute, to be committed, to be involved in this transition from a culture of imposition, of violence, of force, of war, to a culture of conciliation, of dialogue, of alliance, of peace. Some years ago, at the end of the decade of the 80s, a very big mistake was committed. The values, social justice, freedom, were substituted by the market laws. What a mistake. From this moment, also the United Nations were put aside, and plutocratic groups, the G7, the G8, the G20, have been trying to be at the will of the earth. It has been a disaster. Now we are living the results, and we must replace again, put at the center of our everyday life, of all the citizens, the democratic principles of justice, of freedom, of solidarity, of this intellectual and moral solidarity that is essential for our life. We must now make a transition from an economy based on speculation and war. I repeat, $4 billion every day, to an economy based on a global sustainable development. And now we can because we can have a non-presidential participation for the first time in the history. It has been always some men, very few men, not women, men that had in their hands all the lives of the citizens. There were some men that were in the scenario of the power. Now it's up to all the citizens, because this is democracy, to be in this scenario. Because now, for the first time, we can participate. We can have a non-presidential participation because of the media, this technology of the media, of the cellular and mobile telephones, of internet, that allows us to have this capacity of participation. And participation is crucial for the quality of democracy. But at the same time, we have more women, progressively more women. This is essential in the decision making. Until now, until some decades ago, the women had not any real power. Now, progressively, we have more women in the decision making. And very important, we have also a global consciousness. And therefore, we can know better how and when and with what intensity we must act every day. Dear friends, I wish you a very good meeting. I think that this initiative of Evelyn Lindner and the team of the university at the level of higher education, equal dignity is extremely relevant, and I wish you a lot of success. You can count, of course, with all my support. Thank you.